Let me start by asking you a simple question. What happens when one of the world's biggest oil producers suddenly walks out of the group that controls global oil supply? Does it affect the oil prices or does it change the global power dynamics? The UAE has exited OPEC, UAE, that is United Arab Emirates, after nearly 6 decades of membership. And this is not just an economic decision, this is a geopolitical move. That is one that weakens OPEC. And it is also being said that it indirectly strengthens the United States. In fact, many analysts are calling this a major win for the US President Donald Trump. So today we will understand this, that why UAE has left OPEC, how this weakens the cartel, and why these benefits are accrued to the United States. So welcome students to Legacy IAS. In this we are going to cover an important topic which says why UAE exiting OPEC is a big win for Trump. Now to understand all of this, let us first understand what is OPEC and why it matters. Now if you have to understand, then OPEC is essentially a cartel. Its name is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. So it is a group of oil producing countries that coordinate how much oil they produce. And why is that? It is to control the supply and also to influence prices. Now, if OPEC reduces supply, the prices of the oil will go up. If OPEC decreases, or if we say that if it increases or decreases the price, the prices supply, the prices will also act accordingly. So this gives OPEC enormous power over global markets. Countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE have historically used this system to do what? To stabilize the prices and maximize their revenue. Important line here is that OPEC does not just sell oil, it manages the price of oil. Now, let us understand why UAE has actually left OPEC. There are multiple reasons for that, for UAE exiting this OPEC, right? The first thing is that there were production limits. Production limits, that means OPEC imposes quotas. UAE had to produce more, that means it has the capacity to produce more, but then it was restricted by these limits. The second was economic strategy. Economic strategy. Okay. So while the global demand exists, UAE wants to maximize its oil production. And because long term oil demand may decline due to energy transition, it is wanting to act even faster. Third thing is diversification. UAE economy is no longer fully dependent upon oil. The non oil sectors already dominate its GDP. Fourth is the tensions with Saudi Arabia. That means UAE felt that OPEC policies were tilted towards Saudi interests. So the decision was simple. That is, why stay in a cartel that limits your growth? In simple words, it is just about UAE didn't leave OPEC suddenly. It actually outgrew OPEC. Now, to understand why this is a major win for Trump, let us understand by these points. First is Donald Trump has always criticized OPEC. He has repeatedly said that OPEC artificially inflates the oil prices. Now, think about what UAE's exit does. First of all, weakens OPEC. That means it weakens the power, the strength of this cartel. UAE is actually one of the largest producers. And if major players leave, the cartel control weakens. The second thing is it increases the supply potential. That means outside OPEC, UAE can produce more oil freely. And when supply increases, prices tend to fall. The third thing is it benefits the United States. The US is a major consumer of oil, and lower prices for it means that there will be reduction in inflation and it will also support the economic growth. So analysts clearly say that this move of UAE aligns with US policy goals of increasing production and lowering prices. Simple thing here to understand is that if there is less cartel control, it means cheaper oil, and that is exactly what the United States wants. Now, the next thing is what will be the global impact? That means there will be a shift in energy power. Okay. First of all, OPEC is weakening. Okay. If UAE exits, other countries may follow. Other countries may follow. Okay. That means more countries may leave the membership of OPEC. Okay. Second, there are internal fractures. Internal fractures, that means this move exposes the tensions, especially between UAE and Saudi Arabia. Third thing is oil market volatility. That means without coordinated supply control, markets will become much more unpredictable. The fourth thing is that there is rise of non-OPEC players. So countries like the United States, they gain more influence in global oil markets. And this is happening at a critical time. That is when global energy systems are already under stress due to geopolitical conflicts. So important insight here is that this is not just an exit. This is actually a shift in who controls the global energy. So what is the bigger lesson here? The final understanding that we must have, that is from cartels to competition. So it aids our understanding that for decades, oil markets were controlled by groups, cartels like OPEC. But now the times are changing, things are changing. The inclination to act independently is also changing. That means the countries are no longer willing to sacrifice their own interests for collective control. That means you will also see that this shift is due to the energy transition. Energy transition here is also playing a big role. If oil demand may peak soon, countries want to produce more at this point of time. So this shifts the system from coordinated control to competitive production. So now ask yourself, who controls the oil markets today? Is it still the cartels like OPEC or the individual countries? The final line here is that the age of oil cartels may not be over, but it is a clear sign of its weakening. And after UAE's exit, it is one of the strongest signals of that shift. If you understand this, you don't just understand oil, you understand the global power. Thank you so much.